Welcome all to our special Silicon Valley Opportunity webinar. I'm Tanya Mitchell. I will be your host today. So our first part of the event is devoted to the presentation of our special Silicon Valley tour that all of you were asking so many questions about. And our second part is a special podcast where we will be recording a live interview with two of our favorite Silicon Valley investors. And you will have an opportunity to ask your questions, and I already have some questions prepared. All right, so we have exactly 1 hour to cover this presentation and to talk in more detail about our upcoming tour and our program for entrepreneurs, for corporate innovators, and all you can learn from Silicon Valley insiders during this program. And in 1 hour, we will have 2 amazing investors joining us, and you will meet them and be able to learn from them. All right, let's begin. I am Tanya Mitchell. I will be your host today. I'm Silicon Valley Ecosystem Guide for over 10 years. I've been doing these programs for entrepreneurs and organizing innovation experiences for visiting corporate innovators. In my past, I'm a corporate innovation consultant and startup advisor. I'm a founder and CEO of Indiana Consulting Innovation Lab in Silicon Valley and Mission to Mars Academy accelerator for global startups. I'm also host and organizer of Silicon Valley AI Roadshow, Startup Investor Pitch Lunch, and Silicon Valley Opportunity Tour that you all will be joining this August. So who we have in the room today? It looks like our smaller version of World Cup because we have people just looking at the registrations. We have people from United States, from Canada, Italy, Spain, India, Africa, Japan, UK, Singapore, UAE, Israel, France, Switzerland, Central Asia, Turkey. And among people that will be watching this webinar or joining us live are entrepreneurs, founders, tech innovators, corporate leaders, global investors, business owners, and AI enthusiasts. So we are excited to meet you guys. And just to share a bit more about the company that I represent, Indiana Consulting Innovation Lab was founded back in 2015. And since then, we hosted over 350 innovation programs for entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley, in New York, Miami, Austin, and internationally. We have over 5,000 investors in our newsletter, in our global network, and over 15,000 innovators and entrepreneurs joining us for our online experiences and on-site programs in Silicon Valley. So the programs that you might heard about are Silicon Valley Discovery Tours, demo days, startup pitch sessions with investors. We also provide go-to-market services, fundraising services for startups, and help corporate innovators with business partnerships in Silicon Valley and beyond. You can see on the slide some of the logos of our featured clients. They are corporations, but as you can imagine, there were many, many entrepreneurs joining us as individuals or in groups from accelerators and incubators from over 150 countries around the world. Mission to Mars Academy. So how these two companies are different. While Indiana Consulting Innovation Lab is a Silicon Valley-based innovation and foresight studio, where we help executive teams identify new opportunities and build their future-ready products and organizations. Mission to Mars Academy is a future systems accelerator for entrepreneurs and helping leaders to navigate this exciting time of AI disruption. So we provide innovation discovery programs, fundraising, pitch events, investor roadshows, and innovation services for global leaders. I already mentioned our stats, and we are working on bringing more innovators to Silicon Valley and helping them learn from the best leaders in Bay Area. And today, what we'll be talking about is why Silicon Valley matters in 2026. What global founders are missing when they're trying to build their ventures or build partnerships with Silicon Valley from outside. how you can access investors, partners, customers, accelerators, and innovation networks in Silicon Valley through our programs, and how Silicon Valley Opportunity Tour works, which option will be a right option for you to join and to explore your opportunities with Silicon Valley. What is Silicon Valley Opportunity Tour? Silicon Valley Opportunity Tour is something that I will share more about in the course of this webinar. But first, let's talk about why this is a time to be in Silicon Valley and why this is such an exciting moment in Silicon Valley history. First, AI investment is exploding. As you guys noticed, US private AI companies valuation just reached to AI investment, not valuation, AI investment in private AI companies in Silicon Valley and US in general reached 285 billion in 2025, which is a big number, with over 2,000 newly founded AI companies all across the United States. Gen AI became a major funding category. The new AI race now is featuring companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, Google DeepMind, Meta, XAI, Perplexity, NVIDIA, Scale AI. You hear them all over the news, and they are today competing across models, agents, infrastructure, enterprise, and developer tools. What else is happening? What are the trends? Reasoning and multimodal AI becoming mainstream. GPT-4 brought voice, vision, text interaction. OpenAI introduced reasoning models. Gemini 2.5 pushed advanced reasoning benchmarks. AI infrastructure is a new gold rush today. NVIDIA just crossed 5 trillion market value in 2025, while Alphabet, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft were projected to spend hundreds of billions of dollars on AI infrastructure. Those are just summaries of the latest news that things that happened in just over 2 years. So enterprise AI is shifting from chatbots to agents. And Silicon Valley today is no longer just experimenting with AI. It is going all in and building AI infrastructure, AI companies, capital flows, global partnerships that are defining the next decade. So this is a moment to be here, and you must be. And so today we'll be talking all about this opportunity. So AI revolution today is becoming a global equalizer. It is creating new global opportunities and creating this unique opportunity window that you must leverage. Founders who get close to ecosystem in Silicon Valley learn faster. They better understand trends. They understand investor expectations better. They build credibility. They find partners. They access capital. They enter US market today in the most critical time, and they can leverage the momentum. I like this metaphor of Silicon Valley being a time machine. Why time machine? There are 3 reasons. First, Silicon Valley connects you with future trends because future arrives here first because it is being built and created here in Silicon Valley. Second, Silicon Valley connects you with the future version of yourself, of who you can become as a global company, who you can become as a global leader, and what kind of products and services you can build with this new identity of global leader, and how you can compete with the top leaders that are world known today. And third, why Silicon Valley is a time machine, because it compresses time. In just 1 week, in all these meetings that you will have in the course of our Silicon Valley Opportunity Tour, it will be 1 year worth of your time booking and getting those meetings or getting in touch with those companies and acquiring those connections and those opportunities. So this is truly magical acceleration that our participants will experience. So the vehicle for this access to Silicon Valley opportunities and to this acceleration where you can literally get 10 years worth of contacts, of inspiration, of connections, of experience, our expertise in supporting innovators' journey, and all the insider ecosystem knowledge of all the people you will be meeting in the course of this program, you will get it all through this optimal tool, which is our special Silicon Valley Opportunity Tour. Okay, let's look a bit closer. First of all, there are all these great companies in Silicon Valley. You can see them on my slide. And you know that all these partners are becoming your collaborators when you come here to build your innovation. Whether you are a corporate innovator or a founder presenting your startup, or you're an investor looking to create partnerships, you will be interacting with all these ecosystem players on different stages of your venture building. And this is where we can help you as connectors, as your representatives and your supporters and advisors, helping you reach out to the right partners and build relationships and create value and help you reach your goals. Finally, what is Silicon Valley Opportunity Tour, you will ask me, Tanya. So Silicon Valley Opportunity Tour is a 5-day curated business development experience. It is not a public touristic program. It is tailored a business experience for global founders, global investors, and innovators, and corporate innovators who want to access Silicon Valley ecosystem today. So if you want to meet Silicon Valley investors, accelerators, AI companies that are creating value today, you want to meet ecosystem leaders, and you want to understand how US investors think and what they're looking for in 2026. You can sharpen your fundraising strategy, your partnerships, your US market entry, and build those connections and relationships that will be critical for you achieving your business goals this year. You can also position your company as a Silicon Valley connected company. So you will acquire a new identity as a local player as soon as you get partnerships or investors, as soon as you start connecting with those ecosystem leaders through this program. So it is not just a visit, it is actually a bridge that can help you reach your capital, partnerships, market access, and next level growth for your company. About the organizers, I already mentioned the companies, Foresight Studio, Indiana Consulting, and Accelerator Mission to Mars Academy. You can see our newsletter is already 15,000 entrepreneurs globally, 450 innovation events, and over 2,500 attendees of our different programs across United States and globally. So we are here to help you, to support you, and being an immigrant myself, an entrepreneur who already went through this path, I can definitely understand other ecosystems, other environments, and I can understand how to help you adopt and translate what you're building to the language of Silicon Valley investors, partners, and players. So what this tour was used for, and how our clients, our participants leveraged this opportunity, and what they were able to reach through it. So founders, entrepreneurs were able to access investors and pitch investors through this program and do it in person. As you know, it is a very different story when you're doing it online or you're doing it in person. I am not saying, I'm not guaranteeing you that through this 1-week program, you will raise your funding. It is, of course, depending on you, on your product, on your traction, on your presentation skills. But what we can guarantee you is that if you are a founder of fundraising, that you will be able, through this tour, have an opportunity to get in front of investors, to present your venture, to pitch, to get feedback, to build connections that will eventually convert, because of your feedback and your hard work, to your potential investment opportunities. But this will be your first step. Corporate innovators use this tour to establish those partnerships with ecosystem players that I showed you, and also to learn how to build innovation, learn from top leaders in the space, and to apply these best practices to building your AI strategy or to navigating your transformation roadmap for your company. And investors, of course. There were several investors that reached out and specifically are interested to join this upcoming cohort that are looking to establish partnerships with US and Silicon Valley funds, venture funds. And I will be sharing some cases today how this can be successfully achieved. And it was achieved through this visit. So what makes this tour different than other programs that you may find online or on site? So with us, you're basically getting an access to a bigger game. You're accessing and then your next level, like a bigger pond. You get insights, you get connections, you get transformation, you get knowledge and intelligence. You build your credibility since you step your foot in Silicon Valley and start actively meeting and talking and presenting to local leaders. So you're creating your brand, and you learn how to reposition your company and to make it more interesting and appealing to Silicon Valley ecosystem. And this is something that you will learn in the course of those meetings, asking your questions and learning from the presentations from our speakers during this Silicon Valley Opportunity Tour. So how the tour will actually look like, let's take a closer look. So this is your time machine created by one of AI tools. This is how Silicon Valley time machine will look like according to AI. So you can see this is just an overview. The tour program consists of 5 days. That is a general access. So you will be able to meet main groups of companies, and this general program is working well for everybody. So it is industry agnostic. And then there are 2 days, which is a premium track that is customizable part of our program, where you can get your customized meetings, specific connections, depending on your goals, on your focus, whether you're an investor, you're a corporate leader, or you're a founder. And you will be reaching your goals on additional 2 days that will be one-on-one meetings with the companies that we will advise and connect you with based on what you're looking to achieve with your tour. So let's dive deeper. This is a sample program. The logos of the companies that you see here definitely are achievable. And we've been having those meetings already in the course of our programs. But for this upcoming program, we are tailoring specific meetings based on our participating group. So based on participants' profile, we will be booking specific meetings with specific ecosystem players to leverage, to maximize your opportunity and value from those meetings. So this is a sample program, and you can see those are some of the big names in Silicon Valley, accelerators, and university innovation labs. Day one is usually a dive into ecosystem and meetings for startups, meetings with accelerators and VC funds. You can see Berkeley Skydeck, Stanford StartX, Venture University, 500 startups, plug and play. On second day, we propose you to meet with investors and big name venture funds. These meetings already happened, and we hope they will happen again. Of course, we need to share with the hosting company who will be joining, so they want to learn what your company is doing, if this meeting can be relevant. That is why it makes sense to confirm your participation sooner, so we have more time to book these meetings and opportunities. So you can see some of the big name investors. Investors are confirmed based on the profile of our participating companies again. So our day 3 is usually devoted to AI and AI revolution. You will meet some of the big AI leaders and you will learn from them. You will meet company representatives. We're not promising you that you will meet Sam Altman and Jensen, Juan, but you will meet a relevant representative from the company who will be able to answer your questions and share about the company, about innovation, about views on AI revolution and what is happening in Silicon Valley. So it will be enough for you to get valuable insights and to inform your strategy. Day 4, enterprise and corporate partners. So this is where a big tech meetings happening for corporate innovators. This is an opportunity to discuss your partnerships and maybe to acquire clients, or maybe if you're a startup, you want to discuss selling your company to one of these big tech leaders. And this all is possible, and it always starts from one meeting. Day 5 is more opportunity for pitching and learning about your go-to-market opportunity, meeting some of the legal firms that can assist you, some of the advisors, mentors, pitch your startup, get feedback from investors. Every day has evening program where you will be networking, attending events in Silicon Valley, partying with other entrepreneurs, building your network. So it is definitely a good combination of fun and business. And now our additional track, that is a premium track that is designed for entrepreneurs who are looking to meet their specific goals. They know what they want, and you think that general program is not enough for you, and you want to meet specific companies, or you want to pitch a startup to specific venture funds. And this is something that we can also help you organize in advance if you are confirming your participation in advance. So these are your targeted meetings with enterprise clients, AI startups, targeted investors, potential strategic partners, and other relevant ecosystem players that we will discuss with you, who will be a good meeting partner for you, and we will do our best to book those meetings for you. So this is how your week will look like. This actually looks very intense, and I can guarantee you that 5 days often is enough. Good thing that you will have a weekend before your premium track begins to absorb all the knowledge and all the insights. But I can tell you that this amount of meetings can really make a breakthrough in your growth as a leader, as a founder, and you will leave with a new mindset, with a new vision, with new inspiration and new ideas and opportunities for your business. So what is included, what is not included? This is what people usually are asking. So 5-day program includes what is will be included in your price. 20 to 25 meetings, which means 5 meetings every day with Silicon Valley ecosystem players, venture funds, accelerators, startups, tech companies. Arranged transportation is a comfortable bus with AC, accompanying tour manager. We will have our dedicated staff, and you will meet me, of course, and lunch during our tour program days. What is not included? Your flight, your visa, your hotel accommodation, because everybody has different preferences. Restaurants and parties and personal expenses are not covered by this cost. 7-day premium track includes additional meetings that will be 5 or more, depending on the feedback that we'll be getting and how interesting your company can be as a potential partner for local companies. So additional meetings, a 2-day customized program for you, for your business goals, tailored outreach to relevant ecosystem players on your behalf, tailored introductions, networking, and personalized program for events that you can attend in Bay Area, and also advising, and we will connect you with mentors or legal advisors, whatever help you need to support your go-to-market strategy in US and Silicon Valley. What is not included? Flights, hotels, visa, travel, restaurants, and all additional expenses. So if you want to understand which track works better for you, here's a quick tip. So if you just want first impression, this is a first tour to Silicon Valley. You just want exploration and discovery. You want to learn what's happening, learn about the trends, feel the vibe, culture. If you don't have specific product you want to pitch, you want to learn from top tech companies, you want your next level of growth, you want inspiration, you're looking for insights and new opportunities, but you do not have specific agenda, this is the program for you. So if you are a more along the way growth stage company, or you are actively fundraising for your startup, You're looking for strategic partners in Bay Area. You need enterprise meetings. You need introductions. You need fundraising support. You need your market strategy support, and you need additional attention, or you're a VIP and you want white glove services. So this is a premium program. Then this is an option for you. Premium track is from August 17 to 26. General program is from August 17 to 21st. Here is the pricing. So we are now offering exclusive opportunity for our webinar attendees and people who will be making their decision in the next 24 hours after this webinar. We have special price offering. It is $7,500 for the general program and $12,500 for premium programs for 7 days. And you can see this is a good deal because it is like $3,000 difference. Regular price for general program would be $10,500 and premium is $15,500. And later on, I will be telling you exactly how you can book this opportunity by placing a small deposit. You don't have to pay this all amount today, but you just need to make your decision if you want to take advantage of this lower pricing. So think strategically, what would be the ROI for you? Emotions is great, right? Excitement and insights, but what would be the ROI? And then just ask yourself, if you just got one strategic partner from this tour, would it be worse for your company? If you just got one investor introduction, who would be actually interested in you? Would it be worse for your business and what it would mean for your company? If you could save 6 months of your burn rate with this acceleration and faster market entry, how much it would be worse for your company? And how much having this access, all these 25 transformative meetings, how much it would be worse for your vision as a leader, for your strategy? Giving the moment, I think this is definitely a priceless opportunity. So some of the transformation stories, what typically happens if you're a founder in this webinar. So founder often comes to us and says, I just need to raise a quick 50K or 100K for my startup just to keep me going, to build my products, etc. But then after the program, the eyes open, and we often call it like a brain surgery. Because the same founder says, wow, this could become a $100 million company, what I'm doing. And I now know exactly what to do next and how to reach that milestone. This is just a shift in the mindset that casually happens as you attend Silicon Valley meetings during our tour program. So a fundraising story from a founder, and this is a typical story. A founder has some traction in the local market, hasn't started any conversations with US investors, think we are not ready yet. And then after the tour, they receive investor feedback, they refine their strategy, their positioning, they got to follow up with those investors, they build relationships, and in the course of 6 months, the startup is raising $1 million and relocating to Silicon Valley and starting their US expansion and hiring a team locally. And this is a brand new Silicon Valley company now. A story of a corporate innovator. A corporate innovator leader joins to build some Silicon Valley partnerships, to pilot new technology. And after the program, this innovation executive shares, our custom Silicon Valley tour helped us move to actual execution. So it exceeded the expectation, not just knowledge, but actual work. And through the program, we've built relationship with 2 Silicon Valley Innovation Labs, launched our pilot projects, and turned those collaborations into a new product offering for our business. A story from an investor fund looking to access the deal flow from Silicon Valley startups and also build partnerships with Silicon Valley venture funds. So before, An international investment group joins to build relationship with Silicon Valley venture funds after the program. Several relationships built, continued after the program, developed and led to co-investment opportunities, stronger deal flow, and new cross-border venture partnerships, and a new positioning for the venture fund, which now is a Silicon Valley connected venture fund. So what makes these results possible, you will ask me. And first of all, it is the right environment. If this is the right ecosystem and conversations that you have during the program, the right preparation of your venture, which we will help you with, right positioning and right follow-ups. So those are just simple mechanisms, but we create a vehicle for you to make it work. So Silicon Valley Tour is the opportunity to unlock your transformation, access a bigger pond, bigger capital, market opportunities, better investor visibility, stronger strategic positioning on a new market, faster US market entry paths, higher ambition, global mindset, and new partners and your new friends, including myself. Now that I often hear this story from founders, from other innovators, that especially the ones that never built a Silicon Valley company, and it is attractive but also scary opportunity, and they often say, oh, we're not ready yet, we need to reach this milestone, and then we will be ready. But just think about it. What is the cost of delay? What is the cost of your inaction? And what is the cost of missed opportunity not to be here at this time? What is the cost of we are not ready yet? Just imagine if nothing happens and you stay where you are in the next 6 to 12 months. What happens if funding is delayed, if you do not raise in your local market? What happens if your competitors move faster, if you're a corporate innovator and they outplay you on your field? What happens if you miss US market window and the momentum that is happening in Silicon Valley right now? What happens if you keep doing cold outreach from where you are and AI automation just kills your chances and you will never get to hear back from anyone? What will another year of delay cost your company, your business, especially at this time when 1 year equals like 10 years in AI technology progress? So the biggest risk is not entering Silicon Valley because it's too early, because this is just your first step to learn about your opportunities and to start those conversations and to get prepared. So you have to do it before you're ready and then get ready on the way. The bigger actual risk is waiting for too long and missing out on this opportunity. Some of you might regret about not buying Bitcoin in 2012. So this will be the next thing to regret about, that you missed the Silicon Valley AI revolution and did not bring your venture to Silicon Valley and did not start something ambitious and global at this time. So this is the biggest opportunity for innovators and entrepreneurs since the dot-com boom. And that is official statement by many leaders here. So the real innovator or founder problem is often not access to capital, because you will tell me, oh, it's all about access to investors. If only we had capital, we would do this and that. But then what appears is a problem when you start those conversations with investors is often the problem is your company positioning, because you're not here, you don't speak a language, you cannot translate your venture into the language of local investors. Lack of trusted relationships, lack of warm interest, lack of your narrative for your storytelling that you present your company with, lack of knowledge of US market and like Silicon Valley ecosystem. No entry point. You don't know where to start. Right? Everything is cold calling. You don't know who to meet and what to say. So the reality is, if you keep wasting time, months and years of your burn rate, trying to reach your opportunities from outside, you really won't be able to go far. I can tell you, because I tried doing that myself, and many other friends and partners of mine tried both ways, and it just doesn't work this way. So simply because you are not a part of the right environment of this ecosystem that can accelerate your growth 10x, 100x, everything becomes slower and uphill if you are not making this choice. So let me help you if you're still thinking. Who will be fit and not fit? Because this is not a public tour. It's not just for travelers, tourists. Nevertheless, we often have people bring their kids because they want them to get inspired. And by kids, I mean grown-up kids, teenage age at least, students, but young entrepreneurs. Today, if you're 15, you're already supposed to be an AI company founder, right? So this is not a public tour. We select participants based on your profile, your stage, sector, and goals. Even people in this room were pre-selected. They are not random people. And some of the amazing personalities, I looked up each one of your application, and I can say that looks pretty amazing, and I can see the potential, what it could become in a year from now if you accelerate your growth. So who will be a good fit for this program? If you have AI product, if you have some traction, some customers, users, pilots, if you are fundraising for your startup, if you are a corporate executive looking for partnerships, connections, if you need investors or enterprise relationships, you want to compete with top leaders, you are very ambitious, you have passion, you have plans, and you have some budget. So that is a program for you. Who will be not a good fit for this program, let me tell you. So if you don't have a clear goal, you don't know what you want, you don't have budget, you don't like to travel, you don't like Silicon Valley for some reason, you don't want to become a global company, or you don't want global success, you want to stay in your local market, you don't want to learn anything new, get inspired, you don't speak English, or you expect that everyone else should invest in you and your company, but not you, that if you are not ready to invest in your own future and your own success, then why would you expect that an investor who sees you for the first time would do that, right? So, or if you're already a Silicon Valley unicorn, then definitely you don't need this tour. You can teach me a lesson or two about how to do this. Okay, so a quick test. If some of you are still doubting, you can do this quick founder readiness scorecard or leader readiness scorecard, and you can give yourself 1 point for each yes. You want to learn about AI trends? Yes, 1 point. If you want to explore new opportunities, yes. You want to enter US market? Yes, 1 point. If you need investors, partners, advisors, 1 point. Preparing to raise capital the next 1 to 12 months, 1 point. You have a product you want to present to pitch. You have some traction with users, pilots, or revenue. You have budget for fundraising, business development, or market expansion. If you counted 5 or more points, then you can be a good fit for the program. If you're at 2 points, between 2 and 4, you might prefer online meetings first. If you are from 0 to 1 point, you might need to build more traction before joining Silicon Valley program. So some of you are not ready to pay in full today, and that is why we prepared a special offer for you. And this offer is you can only make $500 deposit today in the next 24 hours, and you can lock the special lower price. So $7,500 for the general 5-day tour instead of $10,500, or $12,500 for 7-day premium track instead of $15,500. So this is your time to make a decision. This is an easy access. It's easy to say yes. It is a refundable deposit. If you do a call with us after you book your program and you decide it's not a good fit for you, we will refund you $500 and you can try something else. But so how this actually works, you can see this QR code. It will lead you directly to our landing page. You can scan it. I also sent you a link to this landing page earlier. So there's a button, this webinar only offer, special offer just at the beginning of this page. You can choose your option. There will be 3 options. I will tell you about other 2 right now. So you book your $500 deposit in the next 24 hours. There's a countdown timer on the top of the page. You lock your webinar only rate for the tour, general track or premium track. And then we schedule a call with you, and if it's a yes, You pay the remaining balance within 7 days, and you start packing for Silicon Valley. How does that sound? So my personal Silicon Valley story I wanted to share with you guys is that I actually came to Silicon Valley as a consultant. So my previous career was in academia. I was an AI researcher and internet policy researcher. Also, I worked in Washington, D.C. I had a fellowship in Harvard University. So I was in academia and I was in consulting and I was in policy, in technology policy. And then I came to Silicon Valley to conduct interviews with all these amazing leaders for one of my consulting projects. And I just got infected by the spirit of innovation and entrepreneurship and the excitement that people building the future have, and just unavoidably converted me into a different type of a person. So now I'm a Silicon Valley entrepreneur and also an educator, and still doing consulting and policy work. But it became my passion, and I'm really happy to share my past with you. And it was a longer past, and for many of you, actually, I am from Central Asia originally, and I know that there is somebody from Central Asia in this group today as well. Anyways, so if you are a decisive founder and you only want to jump on this opportunity, you don't need to think, you don't need additional information. So here is a special deal. You can get 50% off of the tour, and it only applies to general program if you make a decision today in the next 24 hours and you pay in full $5,500, which is exactly 50% of the cost of the program. And it will take us 2 months to put it together and to deliver it to you. And you see the value, how many meetings, how many opportunities you get. So 5,500, and this is a QR code to book on the same landing page if you are ready to make your decision today. And if you're not ready to travel, you don't have a visa, you don't have a budget, you were, just hesitant person. So what then? Then we have this special online opportunity for you, because I know we have many international founders joining from different places around the world. So if you are not ready to travel, you can definitely leverage this opportunity of online fundraising program. It is only for founders fundraising currently. So what you get here is a program that is designed as an easy first step to access Silicon Valley networks and present your startup without actual in-person meetings and traveling. So you will have a chance to present your startup to Silicon Valley investors, to receive feedback, to get investor access through our network. You will improve your fundraising strategy. You will build investor visibility. You will prepare for your US market expansion, all remotely before you travel to Silicon Valley. So our regular cost for this program is $2,500. Doesn't include require any success fee or any equity. So it's just a service rate that you pay. So it is one-time retainer fee. And it is 1 month's program. This is a QR code on the same landing page to book this program. So you get fundraising consultation, your pitch rehearsal, pitch deck review, virtual pitch event. You get 5 to 10 to 15 investors based on interest to your company that you will be presenting to. You get customized outreach. We give you a short list of your potential investors that you can work on. We distribute your pitch decks through our newsletter to our investor network. You get priority access to our in-person Silicon Valley programs. We do not take any equity or success fees. This is just a program fee. This is a QR code to join. And since we are on this webinar, for those of you who are looking to join online program, you can again take advantage of this window of opportunity and join us with a lower cost that is only available during this webinar in 24 hours after the webinar. It is $1,000 off. So $1,500 for the online program for founders that are fundraising. You get visibility to 5,000 investors through the newsletter. You get one-on-one strategy session with our experts to help you with your fundraising. You get to pitch investors live and get their feedback. You get targeted investor introductions, which is warm introductions that we will work on getting for you. So this is a 1 month program, and you will get on a call with us and we will tell you everything about it. So what exactly happens after you pay? You receive confirmation, we schedule this call, onboard you, we discuss your company goals, we recommend you which program works better for you, which track works better for you. We send you participation agreement, you sign, and then if you're joining our premium track for Silicon Valley tour, we start organizing your customized program for your 2 days. For general track, we still customize program based on our group profile. So currently we already have some spots booked. So it is just really short time before we close submissions. And what happens next? You receive our materials, you start preparing for the tour, and on August 17th in Silicon Valley, we will meet you at the welcome reception and your transformation begins. So just very small entry fee, 500 or 1,500, depending on online or on-site experience that you choose. So you guys have 3 options to join us. Decide which path is right for you. So option number 1, Startup Investor Pitch Challenge online fundraising program, which is extended, not just a pitch event. It is actually 1 month program that helps you to boost and accelerate your fundraising. You book it if you want to do something online, you're not ready to travel, or you don't have like the full amount to buy the tour. So 1,500 if you book today, because if you book tomorrow, it will be 1K more. It is a webinar only offer. 5,500 is our special scholarship. Option number 2 is special Silicon Valley Opportunity Scholarship that we give to decisive 2 or 3 companies that make their decision today, and they will enroll into this program in the next 24 hours by booking the deposit on the landing page that I shared. And option number 3, it's actual tour. That is either a 5-day program, general track, or premium track 7-day program. And you only have to make a 500 deposit today, and then you will have a week to sign the agreement and to complete your payment and to have a call with us, and we will onboard you to the program. So those are your 3 options. I just announced them online. Silicon Valley fundraising for 1,500 if booked today. Silicon Valley tour scholarship, 50% of the actual cost if you book today for 5,500. Pay in full in the next 24 hours, and you're all set and start packing. And third, lock. If you're not ready to pay in full, just lock with $500 deposit, and then we will have a call and you make your decision. You will pay the rest, and you will have some time to prepare. So just easy decision making, and there is a link and a QR code that I will be sharing at the end that you can use to access all this information and to make a decision. So now there are 2 types of founders that I see when I present these tour programs to you guys. So one type of founder is undecided or delays or keep doubting, and they are very risk averse, or they wait for somebody else to take responsibility for their company, for their business. They are waiting for magical investor to appear and just give them $1 million for this opportunity, or they prefer to stay in a comfort zone or remain in the same place, the same market, the same well-known game for years, and they stagnate and they eventually fail. Unfortunately, I've seen that people who I talked to like a year ago, and I touch base, and they're still in the same place, and nothing really dramatically changed for them because they didn't take the challenge. They didn't make the jump. You can jump, the gap in 99%. It just can only be one or the other. And the second type of a founder, which I put here as a first because it's number 1, because they are a leader. They see the opportunity, they make decision, they take action, they move fast in Silicon Valley speed, they get results, they accelerate their business with Silicon Valley time machine. And this is the type of founder that this offer is for. And I don't need to sell you on Silicon Valley because Silicon Valley speaks for itself. I'm just showing you how this tour architecture works and how you create value for you by attending it. And after this webinar, you have two choices to make. You can either forget about what I told you, forget about this opportunity and continue doing what you're doing, stay where you are and nothing changes, I can guarantee you. Or you can make a decision and do something useful for yourself this summer, take action, commit to your next level, cross the bridge, and begin your transformation. Thousands of Silicon Valley entrepreneurs already made their choice. They crossed the bridge and now they are in Silicon Valley building their ventures and playing in a global game. What will you choose today? It is up to you. So, Silicon Valley Opportunity Tour, here is your link to join. This is a QR code. You can scan it. We will send a follow-up email to everybody who joined today. Cross your bridge to a larger world. This is my invitation for today. Get access to bigger capital, bigger markets, smarter connections, bigger opportunities for your company, whether you are a corporate innovator or investor or founder. Build your new global identity with Silicon Valley networks and connections. And reserve your seat at the forefront of AI revolution. We started talking about what's happening, and we will continue talking about what is happening. That will not be a part of this presentation, but a separate conversation with investors who will be joining us in a few moments. And this is where we will talk about what's happening in AI and what investors are looking for today. And I will leave you with this opportunity. Here is our Silicon Valley Opportunity Tour QR code. Scan it, go to landing page, make a decision in 24 hours, which one of three options that I presented to you and the special lower pricing that is available for the next 24 hours you will choose. You can send me a message on WhatsApp if you have questions or you need clarification of something before you make your decision. I hope you choose your path today. I hope you will join us and you will be one of these case studies of people who experienced the transformation with Silicon Valley Opportunity Tour and Silicon Valley Time Machine. So I will be sending this presentation, link to this presentation to everyone, and you will be able to look through it. Sounds good? Any other questions that I will see? Okay, agenda. I can see a question about the final agenda. So the program can be downloaded on our landing page that you can see on this screen right now behind me. So you can go on that page, you can download the program, you can see the agenda for the days. It is preliminary agenda. The final agenda will be available closer to the tour date, approximately 1 week or 2 weeks before the date you will get final agenda. All right, let me introduce you who will be joining us in just a few minutes. Exactly. This will be a brief interview, only 15-minute interview with two amazing investors that actually participated in our pitch events with founders, and founders really loved them. That is why we invited them to join us today. Let me share with you who these secret investors will be, because today you will meet Todd Yancey, who is an operator investor, venture growth advisor, and enterprise SaaS executive with over 25 years of experience scaling B2B software companies across AI, cloud infrastructure, cybersecurity, fintech, digital assets, and enterprise SaaS. Todd Yancey has personally closed more than 100 million enterprise software deals and led go-to-market organizations responsible for over 1 billion in revenue, bringing a practical investor's lens to what it makes companies fundable, scalable, and built for long-term value creation. And our second investor that will be joining us today is Stephan, a global investor, serial entrepreneur. builder focused on technology, AI, deep tech, aerospace, and social impact ventures. Stephan Reckie serves as an executive director in GenSpace, venture partner at Hypernova Fund, and co-founder of Angelus Funding, bringing decades of experience investing in startups, advising founders, and connecting entrepreneurs, investors, corporations, and governments across 6 continents. So this is pretty impressive bios of our amazing and guest speakers and investors. So Todd, Yancey, hello.
Hi,
Stephan.
how you doing?
It's great to have
Looking forward to everything.
Yeah, amazing. It's great to have you with us. And we're super excited to hear from Silicon Valley insiders and people who've been building ventures, because you both have experience as operators, as executives, as founders, as builders. And that's what I love about your backgrounds, because you're not just like a sterile VC fund manager. You are people who have skin in the game, who actually build companies, scaled companies, sold companies, and this is a great deal of experience that definitely our viewers can learn from. So, who wants to begin? I believe we have Todd Yancey scheduled.
Delighted to be here. I think there are 3 questions. How has AI shaped what investors' expectations are now for founders? What I do and where I see companies that I choose and what I kind of look for, and then advice that I can give to those looking to raise money, right? So
yes, absolutely. This is our top 1 demand request from the audience is fundraising.
Right. But I want to make this really interactive. So what I'll do here, from my perspective, AI has moved now to being embedded in every product. If you don't have AI in your product, I would really encourage you to kind of relook at what you're building and who you're building it for. And so from my perspective, it's the table stakes. It's got to be there. And you need to move from just AI to now look at your kind of go-to-market plan. How do you intend to be effective at finding those desperate buyers and your ICP and defining that? And then how do you drive the revenue proof that you need?
That how you see AI is affecting executive leaders today, and we're not talking about the big AI Silicon Valley AI leaders like Google or OpenAI. We are talking about everyday businesses, maybe medium, small businesses, or like bigger, also global companies that are not AI native companies that are still transitioning to becoming AI companies. So what do you see is happening today, not last year, but in 2026? What is the current state of this company's game? Like, what is, you talk to executives, what do you see is happening across the industry? Is it just layoffs? Is it just still AI panic, or people, protesting AI, or is something else?
Yeah, great question. And I think for me, and I would encourage others, if you're not utilizing all the capabilities of all the AI tools, then you as a leader, knowledge worker, however you define your role in an organization, you're not leveraging your skills and knowledge. So for me, I utilize multiple AI tools every single day. And although we might have our preferences, what I'm finding is that there are some tools that are great at certain tasks. So ChatGPT, it's a good tool to use in order to do some data extraction, or maybe there's some, searches that you need to conduct in ChatGPT. Claude has some very powerful capabilities. And if your engineering team isn't utilizing Claude Code or Microsoft tools for with Copilot, I think you're missing out. I think if you're building and need to have some Excel spreadsheets, maybe there's something that you need for your business. If you're not using Microsoft Copilot for that, I think you're, missing out on the capabilities of what it can do to make you a certainly a more effective executive for your organization and for your leadership of what you need to do on a day to day. So the challenge is that you've got 2 or 3 AI solutions that you're using almost literally concurrent throughout the day. And your attention is shifting from one tool to another as it's processing whatever tasks you've given it to do. And from my view, if you do it correctly, you're orchestrating as a conductor would be of a symphony. You're utilizing these technologies to advance your startup, your business, and to make you a more powerful, more effective leader for the organization. But that does require some thought of how you approach your day, how you approach the tasks that you have. Certainly, I have advice, and if you go to my website, there's a couple of blog posts that I've written about how to be a more effective leader, but in time management and how we deal with effective leadership skills, particularly in a startup, go to market. There's a number of articles there that I think your audience might be and find helpful and useful here. But for sure, it's how you orchestrate your the AI tools that you use to make you more effective and your organization stronger.
Mm-hmm. And so to specify, to go deeper on that question, so what are the pain points that your executive clients, because I know that you work with executive groups as an advisor, so what are the pain points, what are the problems that they're coming to you with? Where do they need help today? And actually, why global executives come to Silicon Valley? From your perspective, because you were right in the middle of everything, right? So why they are coming to you, what kind of pains you help solving, and what kind of pains you see executives have today?
So for one, Silicon Valley has a unique structure where we have some of the most brilliant mind and some of the deepest, pockets, but we have a structure where we lead in terms of innovation. If you've got a company or an idea and you're looking to get and find some, help in order to deliver to the market that product or idea that you have, clearly Silicon Valley offers what I don't think any other in the world does from that perspective. But from what I hear from typical founders, I had a call even yesterday from one that reached out to me, and the key question is, how do I, raise around? How do I find money from angel investors?
That would be my next question. What are the actual tips for fundraising in the age of AI?
Yes, and I think we have that as one of the slides. So, but the second question is, how can you help me sell the product? So, what I encourage is really defining your desperate buyer, your ICP. So think of it this way. And I apologize, I use a lot of analogies because I think that
that is great. Please do. I am also visual, so it helps me understand. That's why we use presentations, right?
But a desperate buyer is someone that has, for example, their hair on fire. I mean, they have this pain in their organization that they need to solve. Think of it as you're stuck in the Sahara Desert. There's no water, and you run across somebody that's selling water. You don't care that if it's Fiji water or if it's Perrier or you just need water, And in fact, you're willing to drink whatever water you can find. It doesn't have to be perfect. And you're willing to pay whatever you have to pay, otherwise you're going to die. And that's in itself the definition of that desperate buyer. Somebody who is so desperate, they don't mind that your product is not 100% to solve their problem. They don't mind that the product isn't polished and that its look and feel is, without question. They don't mind that there has to be some training or hand holding in order to use your product or service. What they need is a product or service that solves that desperate challenge that they have right now that they can't find a solution for. And for that, they're willing to pay money and they're willing to accept your limitations. So, in a real world scenario, there was a company that I've recently advised who was selling a product that took what was a manual task costing organizations more than $5 million to solve over an 18-month period of time. And they had a solution that organization could solve that problem in less than a month and save that company $5 million. And I said, it's a pretty simple value proposition. If you're saving a company $5 million, there isn't a company on the planet that wouldn't pay you $250,000 or $500,000 to solve that problem for them. You have a unique solution, but you need to find these individuals, these groups within an organization that is that desperate buyer that has that problem. And once you do, then that go-to-market becomes easier. You have your, if you will, your cornerstone customer who will give, fantastic references for you because they are desperate. They have no other choice. So, that leads into the go-to-market. It's just not a product. So today, what investors will encourage the founders to do is do founder-led sales and founder-led marketing. But if you're not, what for sure you don't want to do is pick up the phone and call a friend or a family member to say, please buy this product of mine. That does, in fact, give you some short-term revenue, but it's just a blip because you're not focused on the bigger challenge and the bigger problem, which is I need to properly identify my ICP. I need to properly identify the messaging that we need to identify for that ICP, for that desperate buyer, so that we can, in fact, drive a more sustainable revenue. So you have that kind of hockey stick growth. If you have that hockey stick growth, then there isn't a VC firm in the Valley that wouldn't write you a big check, right? They want to see companies that have identified a market, know how to fill that market, and then be able to grow and deliver value to customers. So along the way, I look at 4 different, keys. So it's that founder market fit. It's finding and identifying the real economic buyer. I actually have, and on my website you can go to, there's a enterprise sales methodology, but it can be applied to any product. It's called the 7 C's. You can just click on it, you get it for free. But look at the 7 C's, understand that you have for every opportunity that you're trying to sell your product or service into, there are 7 people that you need to actually, or 7 tasks that you need to do to win that. And the first is you got to find a champion. Wherever there's a champion, there's always going to be a critic of equal or greater level of influence in an organization. Wherever there's that critic, there's always going to be a competitor, and that competitor could be do nothing. But you have to find that compelling event. Why will the company buy your product or service? What is it that you have? Now, that applies, those 7 C's also apply to the consumer market as well. So it's not just for enterprise sales, but it can apply to anything. But at the end of the day, there has to be an economic buyer, someone that has the budget and the authority to make that decision to buy your product. And once you do that, then you can go to the third point here, which is to repeat that motion. You found your ICP. You're not just selling to a few individuals, but now you understand your whole market. It's not the TAM, it's not the total addressable market, but it's where you fit in that market, how you're going to deliver your first revenue, and how you're going to grow. And then all of a sudden, you're using that capital very efficiently. So, if you're doing the right steps to build that revenue, certainly you'll find investors to write that check to give you more, so that there's greater growth. And then I think the third point here that you asked was, what are the 5 moves for founders raising today in 2026?
Right, Todd, because these founders are maybe in this room, they will be coming to on our tour and will be pitching investors in just 2 months from now. And maybe you will give them, and your tips, I'm sure, will help. But let's keep that goal in mind, that they will be coming in Silicon Valley and pitching investors. Maybe for the first time, they will be in front of a Silicon Valley investor. So, what would be your advice?
Well, my advice is very clear. Understand what you're asking for. Understand what you're offering with that ask, and clearly articulate what it is that you intend to do with their money. Because at the end of the day, you're trying to build a relationship. You're selling yourself to these investors, and you're trying to give these investors confidence that their hardworking money, if it's put in your hands, you're going to deliver great value to them, because you understand the market, you understand how you fit in that market, you've developed a product for a unique ICP, so that you can build momentum to ultimately give these investors a liquidity event of some form. As an investor, having your company as one of the investments on my portfolio is interesting. It's something I can talk to others. I can be passionate about what you're doing. But at the end of the day, I have to see a return at some point. It has to benefit me at some point. And I made an investment. I did it with a friend. I knew it was a mistake at the time. I did it out of the friendship. But it's been 16 years, and I've received zero benefit out of it. And so when you're asking an investor to give you some of their money for what you've got in terms of an idea and how you're going to tackle that market, understand that, we all need to see the upside. And that upside can't be in 10 years. It can't be, in my case, 16-year investment, which is, that's been written off long ago. So I'm happy to, if anyone has any questions, shoot me an email, connect with me on LinkedIn. Happy to answer any of your questions. Happy to be of help to you along the way.
Amazing.
And perhaps maybe be an investor in your company.
Wow, that is a very generous invitation, Todd. I hope we will have you in our tour program. Those of you who will be watching this, you can reach out to me and tell me if you want Todd Yancey as your startup advisor or your executive advisor for your corporate venture. Very valuable insights, and this is exactly the type of insights that you can learn from Silicon Valley insiders, investors, and AI leaders in our program. And Todd Yancey definitely will be open to consulting you, your company, you as a founder, mentoring your startup. You can reach him on his personal website, toddyancey.com, and you can also learn how to build your personal brand as an investor, as a Silicon Valley investor. If you are an investor in this room looking to connect with investors in Bay Area.
I'll leave you with one last comment. I live by a motto. I would like to say it's mine, but I borrowed it from John Wooden. John Wooden was a famous UCLA basketball coach who won 10 NCAA championships in 11 years, a feat that has never come close to being repeated, probably never will be. But John Wooden had a quote: it's never a perfect day until you do something for someone who can never repay you. It's never a perfect day until you do something for someone who can never repay you. I live by that. And so, a 5-minute conversation, I'm happy to do anytime. And then if there's, some synergy, I'm happy to go into any deeper way with you.
Amazing. And this is exactly the magic of Silicon Valley, guys, because it's such an open ecosystem. The culture is amazing. People in Silicon Valley see themselves as ambassadors of innovation. So they meet with everybody. They take meetings. They talk to everybody. They don't have immediate business overlap or value. They will take the meeting anyways. And that's what makes Silicon Valley so unique. That's why I'm telling you, come here. Don't go to Miami or New York or Austin. Like, there are other awesome places, but it's a very different culture. And Silicon Valley is the regional culture of innovation and the secret sauce of building the future. And this is unique to Silicon Valley. And because of the people like Todd, Yancey, and Stephan, Reckie, who we are not paying, by the way, to be here, and they are still yet here volunteering their time to share with you their insights. Thank you so much, Todd, Yancey. And I want to invite our second guest investor for today, Stephan Reckie. Welcome, Stephan. Thank you so much for joining.
Great. Thanks for the opportunity, and always challenging to go second after someone's kind of spread all the word about all the answers to the questions. So
I will try to come up with unique questions for you.
Oh, sure. I'm going to try not to repeat what Todd said, but definitely it was exciting. And Todd, thanks for sharing, because I'm a big believer in everything you said. And it's important. It's important to share. And Tanya, especially what you're doing, you're helping share the word, so it's no longer like a little secret code. It's not a secret.
Not an Illuminati group. I'm also with like tech bro club to the world, disrupting Silicon Valley. So as an icebreaker, Stephan, what is your favorite thing about Silicon Valley?
I just think it's just an amazing innovation area. Everywhere you go, someone's innovating something, talking about it. You're right in the heartbeat of where really cool things have been developed, are being developed, and it's attracting people. It's kind of like people are making a pilgrimage to Silicon Valley to either move their companies there or have a footprint there so they can be part of that movement, the innovation movement.
Why do you think AI revolution has brought Silicon Valley back? Because there was a moment, like after the pandemic, I remember San Francisco being such a ghost town, a very abandoned place. And then suddenly this AI boom happens. And now it's just all of a sudden, it's just the most important place in the world again. What do you think makes Silicon Valley so relevant and becoming the epicenter again at this time? What is this? If there is anything new, or is it the same triad of like capital, talent, and networks and interconnected ecosystem players and the culture and whatever, education? If there is anything else you're spotting in this AI revolution, but like why Silicon Valley, why AI revolution is happening here, not in Texas?
Well, I think, again, it's that hub of innovation. So I think AI is really doing kind of like what internet did for information or mobile did for connectivity. So in Silicon Valley, AI is no longer just a separate sector. It's a foundation that touches all the startups, right? So people before, like a couple of years ago, if you said, I have an AI story, people would be excited to meet with you. Today, it's different. It's no longer do you use AI, it's how do you use AI to win? And I think being in Silicon Valley, you can see all the different usage models of AI and how you can be different. So we're looking for how do you leverage this AI to be defensible, like what Todd was saying, right? So whether you're maybe doing something proprietary with data, workflow, I know, some type of regulatory customers, something like that. AI is really helping founders move faster and quicker. So it's
Let me read your bio once again for our participants to understand your specific background. I already did that, but in case you were not yet in the room. So Stephan Reckie is a global investor and serial entrepreneur and ecosystem builder focused on technology, AI, deep tech, aerospace, social impact ventures. He serves as an executive director of Jan Space, venture partner of Hypernova Fund, and co-founder of Angelus Funding, bringing decades of experience investing in startups, advising founders, connecting entrepreneurs, investors, corporations, and governments across 6 continents. So you are, in fact, an example of a global investor that is not investing only in Stanford dropouts or graduates, but investors, international founders. And tell me, from a perspective of an investor who invests in globally and founders from other locations, because this is our main audience, like people coming from other countries to discover Silicon Valley and plug in and reach their goals. So what is the main challenge you see for foreign founders beyond visas, except from the travel challenges? So what do you see as the challenges of adaptation, of the translating their startups to the needs and expectations of investors in Silicon Valley, and what are the typical problems that you see founders have?
I think, typically when I've done a lot of global travel, a lot of global mentoring, when founders come to the US, they need to understand, or move to Silicon Valley, they need to understand who their target market is and how do they sell to that target market. Founders in different countries might have the ability to sell within their country or whatever their region is. But I think in Silicon Valley and in the US and the domestic market, you need a particular way of selling and promoting your product. And also on how to work with investors, right? So understanding what the type of typical investor would be, looking at them would be, what questions would be asked. So it's really localizing or your global aspect, but localizing it to domestic North American operations.
So if you are, correct me if I'm wrong. So what you're saying is that I was just saying that AI is a global equalizer. If you are like a coder engineer from India and you don't even speak English well, but you are a genius with AI, you have like a cool startup, you can come and become the next 1 billion solo founder company in Silicon Valley. But you are saying that it's actually having tech backgrounds and skills is not enough. You still need to learn how to operate as a business in America, and how to go to market, and how to like reach your customers, what should be the messaging, the branding, and like all the packaging of your product and business. Right. And what would be the easiest way for these startups to learn this kind of skills fast? I'm hinting on like a joining Silicon Valley opportunity tour, of course, but what are the alternatives in your opinion?
Well, obviously go through an accelerator, incubator, someone that's going to show them the ropes. That's the easy one. Find trusted people that they trust in their network. I mean, my whole aspect of investing is trust based. So see in their network, who do they know that's successfully come to the US or come to whatever geography they want it to go to, and how did they do it? What were the best practices? Be humble, right? Don't expect that you know anything about everything. Go in and be with an open mind, be curious, ask really good questions, and find trusted mentors, coaching, those kind of things to get you to adapt, not only to do business in the US, but to understand the investor mindset in the US.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to underline the differentiator between our program and the accelerator, like longer term acceleration program. Like, what is the difference for you guys? Is that accelerator typically has some application process you have to go to. You need to be selected. Like Y Combinator is extremely competitive. It's really like 1%, 2% of applicants get through. So often it doesn't go with funding. You still have to pay something. The accelerator will often take your equity. There is no commitment that you will get like investment as a result of this acceleration program. So you will have to compete with the whole cohort. There will be no personalization, as opposed to our program where we deliver customized, personalized, client-centric experience, not throw you in a batch of like 40 other founders and like helping you figure out it on your own and just giving you a couple of mentorship meetings per week. So this is like a fast track if we speak about Silicon Valley tour, and it's good for discovery, for plugging in. You saw this crazy amount of meetings is good for fast, mind-blowing transformation. If you want a steady, long path and you want to enroll, it's like similar to our university application. So if you want to stand on that track, so it's like a long-term relationship. And by the way, through our short-term program, you can connect with those accelerators. Most of them will be hosting our meetings, and you will learn about the opportunities through this tour, and they will get to know you. So anyways, even if you are applying to accelerator, it's a good way to kind of say hello, get to know them. As you know, it's all like personal relationship driven, as Stephan just mentioned. So it's not like the cold calling trick that you can do unless you are Elon Musk and you have like a genius invention. Speaking of inventions, what are some of the greatest startups, Stephan, that you are observing today globally or in Silicon Valley? What are the biggest innovations that you are particularly inspired about, and what would you recommend our founders to focus on if they want to compete in this AI race, if they want to build the next big thing, the next unicorn? Where you would advise to put their attention, and what to offer to Silicon Valley investors to make them wow?
So my crystal ball, right? So you're saying if I can,
what to pitch and what not to pitch, and what is hot and what is not. Put it short.
Well, that's actually, I'll put that ownership on the founder coming to me to tell me, why is their stuff so hot? Why is it so different, right? As opposed to me looking to see what else is hot out there. When you go present to an investor, what you want to be able to do is communicate very well as to what is your unique value proposition and what is the problem you're solving and what is that market opportunity. And then, because as you mentioned in my bio, I do have this global perspective. I look at space, mostly a lot of space technology, right? So it's always hard to, you're not going to compare rocket engine horsepower versus, you're going to look at all different types of propulsion. You're going to look at, and in me, when I'm looking at things, I'm looking at what's the impact? What's the positive impact to society? Why is this so important? You're doing what you're doing and no one else has done it, and why you're going to do really well at it.
Silicon Valley loves big stories. And what do you think about Elon Musk building data centers on the orbit and space?
I know there's a lot of challenges. There's huge challenges. Yeah, it's definitely challenging to do a data center in space, and there's so many cons. And we're not gonna change the topic for this webinar, but there's definitely there's a lot of hype about it, and there's a lot of ways to dispel the hype. Again, I guess I'm being quoted on this because it's being recorded.
Are you an Elon Musk optimist or Elon Musk pessimist?
How about we're a SpaceX XAI investor? So
okay, yeah. Then I wanted to ask if you took some part in IPO.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Are you happy? You seem happy.
Yeah, we're still happy, but again, what Elon's done for the space industry is the reusability of rockets. That's tremendous. That has such an amazing impact across the board of anyone doing business in space. It's imagine flying in a plane and you throw the plane away after you fly cross country. That's just ridiculous now to think about. But that's what we were doing historically until SpaceX decided and figured out, you can argue Blue Origin and SpaceX are figuring out reusability rockets. That is huge. So very grateful for that, and also grateful for this IPO, because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be, first of all, accepting for investments in space. And also the people at SpaceX are going to go do amazing things with their financial flexibility and freedom.
Yeah, no, definitely a legend and an inspiration and the North Star for many entrepreneurs, including my Mission to Mars company, right? So where do you think I got it from?
Yep.
Okay, thank you for space inspiration, Stephan. And I want to ask you, how do you evaluate companies and entrepreneurs that come knock on your door and ask you for investment? What is your personal preference? Like, I specifically want to ask about founder-investor fit. So, what do you have to like in a founder's personality? Because we speak about cross-culture, cross-market, cross-country. There are different cultural differences in the way how founders speech. I see it every day, every time I check their decks or like help them prepare for pitch events. It's just very different, and it is not like a lack of knowledge. It's just a different format, different culture, and in terms of translating from these other cultures and other markets, what are you looking for in a founder, like founder investor fit? What makes you like a founder?
And that's super important, Tanya, is I have to like the founder, right? And
yeah,
whatever might spur me the wrong way, if I don't like them, I'll actually gracefully not continue the conversation, because at the end of the day, that liking part, you're building a relationship, right? So that they have to be truthful, respectful, super good communicators. Now, again, language barrier might be there, but they have to attempt to be a good communicator. And most important is they have to be super, super responsive. And when they make a commitment, get back to me. So it's respecting my time, and ultimately that's going to tell me how well of a leader they're going to be and how much of a team player and all that stuff. And I also look for people that are not just claim to be an expert, but actually act like they're experts. They know what they're talking about. So understand their market, understand their competition. You mentioned accelerators have, when you're part of a cohort in a big accelerator, you do have competition. You're competing with everyone else in that cohort when they do their demo day. Even if you might be doing something different. So understand who your competitors are and understand why you're better and why you're different. And most importantly, understand me before you approach me. There's clues around the internet. You can go to my website, Angelus Funding. You can go to Hypernova. You can understand what I'm about, so that when you talk to me, you can talk to me. You can talk to me and listen and have a conversation with me and explain. I don't look for pitches where someone says, let me pull out my deck right away. I want to be able to understand why they're doing what they're doing. So be comfortable about what you're doing.
What is your current focus of investment, in case any of our founders would want to pitch you? Like, what do they pitch you with?
So the current focus is we're looking for products that exist, that are either in demo or prototype mode, and that they're solving a real world problem that's going to scale and it's going to benefit. So I'll throw the impact word in, because we've been doing this impact stuff for 20 years now, before it officially became a classification for investment. So I'm always looking for things that are going to be really cool and also be really helpful to society. But the product has to be there. We don't, and hopefully before the founder comes to us, they've either exhausted or used as much as the non-dilutive capital opportunities are there. They've got grants, they've got validation, those kind of things, so that we're not paying for a prototype.
Yeah, absolutely. So social impact tech with product and execution.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. And my final question to you, Stephan, we are running out of time, but what advice do you have to founders that will be coming to Silicon Valley this summer, or leaders in general, global investors or corporate leaders? What are some of your tips in terms of scaling to US market, go to market in America today and through Silicon Valley? Any advice that you think would be valuable, some of the insights that you learned from working with international leaders? Go to market in America in 2026, your advice.
Yeah. So let me think of like just 2, 3 things. So one is be truthful, be respectful. Todd mentioned this. Know your ask. Understand what you're asking for when you do talk to someone. Every meeting you have with an investor either should be an ask for a next meeting or an understanding, and ultimately there should be an ask for why are you meeting with that person. So understand what your funding needs are and understand how you're going to use that money. And then if you are coming to the U.S., practice your leadership recruiting skills so that you can also recruit a team, because it's rare that investors invest in a solo founder and that goes all the way. It's really rare. So be understanding and be aware that you probably have to get some co-founders if you don't have them, and figure out how you're going to work with them and attract them.
We'll hire a team locally. I had this challenge when I was breaking into Silicon Valley like 10 years ago. I hired a bunch of people. I had funding at that time, but I didn't have experience in like managing people in like HR culture in America. So I made a bunch of expensive mistakes. And
Yes.
it was a good learning experience for me, So like if you were managing people in your own country, it's not the same managing team in America. So you be prepared for that.
But do your research, because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to approach you to say, let me offer you this, and this service. So validate that those people can offer those services, because you can spend a lot of money and get nothing done too. So
yeah, absolutely. And very final question, Stephan. So tips on pitching investors in Silicon Valley in 2026, especially pitching with AI products and or pitch decks.
I would say know your investor audience before you approach them, excite them, delight them, and close them on the next step.
Yeah, big vision. I would say big vision, and Silicon Valley loves crazy, ambitious, big ideas. That's why you see the huge valuations and like people raising. What do you think about people raising like millions of dollars with a pitch deck again on idea stage? It's happening again.
It's happening, yeah, and it's okay. We're not doing it, but there are people out there. So
good luck.
Yeah, good luck. But try. You know what? The capital's coming back, so people don't want to miss the opportunity. So yeah, it's okay if you have a pitch deck and don't we tell people, and not to be a bummer, but we don't invest in ideas. We invest in businesses based on ideas. So, but more power to you if you can do it with just a pitch deck. We just fell into one, and I can't go through the details, but in a good way. We invested in an idea by someone very prominent. So
yeah, well, $300 billion invested in 2025, and more is coming this year. So guys, this is a moment. This is your time. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. This webinar is your sign. Silicon Valley is calling. You pick up the call and you pack your bag and you show up here, and you will meet amazing people like Todd, Yancey, and Stephan, Reckie, who are the kindest, the sweetest, the nicest investors that will never ghost you or like no reply to your email or say you some mean demotivating thing. Like definitely the best investors, the best connections, relationships, opportunities, capital, all that in Silicon Valley, and all that is available for you just one click away if you join our Silicon Valley Opportunity Tour. I shared our access links with you. I will be sending follow-up email. So you have 24 hours to decide, to make a decision, to cross the bridge, start your transformation, and get to your next level and play this exciting AI revolution game with us. Amazing. Thank you so much.
One quick thing, Tanya, and look for people like Tanya that know people like us.
Oh, yes, that's exactly the missing point. The point is I am somebody who will help you open these doors and tailor your pitch and talk to right people and connect with the right people. And I'm hoping you will meet both of you at our program in August. And at least we will have you for the party or networking event. So, or unless you want to give a talk, that's also would be great to hear from you again. Amazing. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Todd, Yancey, Stephan, Reckie, amazing Silicon Valley investors and your future potential investors. So everybody who is in this live webinar, thank you so much for joining. Please make your choices. You have 3 options. Join Silicon Valley Opportunity Tour, our general program or premium track. Join Startup Investor Pitch Launch Fundraising Program online, or apply and get this scholarship that has 50% discount on a tour program. But you have to make a decision the next 24 hours to make this opportunity work for you. Thank you so much. It was Tanya Mitchell. We will see you in Silicon Valley and meet you on the other side really soon. It was Silicon Valley Opportunity webinar, and see you guys soon in Silicon Valley.